Sound disproof. Oh, yes, ma'am. Mm-hmm. CapCut.
Hmm.
CapCut.
What is, oh, to make an intro?
Mm-hmm. And Canva. See,
Okay.
I can help you in that area. See what I'm saying? We can help each other.
Okay. We're gonna get it together.
Mm-hmm.
Woo woo.
Oh,
I don't know if maybe I should have, you know, whenever you go off, it's almost like you lose stuff. When you go off screen. I'm using my tablet.
oh, okay. Okay.
So that's what I have been using. So, but we're actually live now. But we got a
Yeah.
whole few seconds.
I see at 45. Counting down.
Yes. Yes.
I ate some dinner. I'm trying to eat within my little dietitian, trying to get me together. Just a little
Okay.
TT bit. So, I put my
Your
chilling,
crown on.
yeah, my inner Buddha. I'm gonna try to behave a little bit.
It'll just be, well, it is 8 o'clock. And so we're just going to get started as people come in, they come in or they catch the replay, which I've noticed a lot of people catch the replay, but I
Okay.
am Latricia Penny of Root of the Matter. This is a collaborative conversation with Rashida Davis. It is an opportunity for real people have real talk. I ask the same questions. And which kind of goes with your theme, the unique me. Like everyone has their unique response to all of the questions. So although everything is similar, because we're alike but we're different, so it gives an opportunity for people to just talk and people to learn more about people to maybe learn some coping skills or whatever, but just like real people talking. I always feel like that there's always so much to learn, and you get to know people a little bit different just with the conversation. And I want you to, I want to say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for
Well,
showing up.
you're welcome.
So we're gonna just kind of go ahead and get started. So, um, if you are ready, tell me a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Okay. Again, my name is Rashida, as she already stated. Um, I'll say I'm a professional, been that
Mm-hmm.
for over 25 years in
Okay.
the finance world.
Okay.
Originally from Fayetteville, North Carolina,
Okay.
Vietnam, you know what I'm saying? Not too far
Uh-huh.
from Charlotte, North Carolina. Um, some unique things about me. I do Reiki.
Yes.
I have a background in shamanic counseling as well that I don't use too often. Um, what else would I say? And I like diving deep. I'll say that. I
Okay.
like the
I
different
was about to
things.
say, you work with some of the elements as well to create healing potions if necessary.
Yes, I do. I absolutely do.
Okay, nice. All right. And so tell me a little bit about the shamanic uh counseling.
I did that years ago, and it
Uh-huh.
was very interesting. It's a walk. I think it was the first thing that started me on a journey that I just kept growing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it a lot different than what we would say religion was.
Okay.
We tapped into the psyche a lot,
Mm-hmm.
and we dealt with grounding, which a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people are aware of now.
Mm-hmm.
We also just dealt with mostly like healing yourself,
Okay.
basically. So,
Mm-hmm.
of course, the best healers are the healers of yourself. And
Mm-hmm.
so that's exactly what we focused on a lot before we kind of pulled people in
Mm-hmm.
to do examples and to have different experiences. So,
Nice.
very interesting class.
Nice, nice, nice. So if you were a book, what would the title of your book be and why?
Hmm. If I was a book, what would the title of the book BNY. Who would have known?
Okay.
That
Explain.
who would have known? The reason being is because I started off so different than I am now.
Mm-hmm.
I've grown so much, and um, I would have never known. I've always been kind of tapped in because I'm all things most of the time. I always relate it back to spirituality.
Right.
Um, and I never would have known I would have dived so deep into the mystic of
Mm-hmm.
things. I don't like surface, not when it comes to
Mm-hmm.
spirituality. I like to tap all the way in. I will wait for an answer.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times I don't have to. I love the
Mm-hmm.
meditation, sitting quiet,
Mm-hmm.
the downloads, the channeling.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I never would have thought, because I shied away from it for a long time. And that's
Mm-hmm.
only because our environment is not it's not always embracing of the differences
Mm-hmm.
um that some of us are. We are
Mm-hmm.
different, and so the majority, we all kind of like to swim in the same pond, but when you have
Mm-hmm.
someone over here doing something different, it's just like, what's that all about? Or you don't want it to be labeled as
Mm-hmm.
anything. And so who would have thought?
Well, and we've had some conversations about some of the things,
Mhm.
and so just with that, because I think when I went on the journey
Mhm.
of just trying to figure out what was going to work best for me and dibbling this and dibbling that or what have you, I knew there was these strong belief systems that I was raised with that went against everything that I felt. So like that internal feeling, like, you
Mhm.
could be in church and, and not saying that church is bad, because everybody
Right.
has the thing that speaks to them in their spirit and their soul. And I
Correct.
can go hear a good sermon and still be good, and hear
Hmm.
some good old singing and be full.
Hmm.
However, some of the other things, and I think it was like the guilt and shame and the whatever stuff that was always attached to, and everything else was considered not of God. Only the thing that you were doing in that space was ever considered of God, which I always, found weird, because it's like, but don't some of this stuff predate? You know, that's so, or you get what I'm
It
saying.
does. Hmm.
Like
It
if we just do
absolutely does.
history and not necessarily the feeling of a thing, I just always found it interesting that people felt that you were going to tell people who, let's say indigenous or from wherever,
Mhm.
that their stuff that predates what you do, that now all of a sudden yours is better than what theirs is. I always felt like that was arrogance or something that sometimes people had. So,
Arrogance, judgmental. And I'm saying this because honestly, I grew up in Christianity.
mm-hmm,
So
me too.
I would even say I had a conversation
Mm-hmm,
just last week about the way we try to manipulate God. I don't
mm-hmm,
believe in that. I
mm-hmm,
come just as I am.
mm-hmm,
It's not, he don't just see me. He don't just see me in my prayer closet. He sees me all the time.
mm-hmm.
So it's no need for me to lie and say, well, if you do this, we do all this negotiating.
Uh-huh.
And those are the type of things that fell off of me as I got to know that love better.
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
didn't go with the fakeness. I didn't feel the guilt. I didn't
Mhm.
feel all the shame anymore. Like, Lord, if you bless me this time, well, Lord, if you do it this time, and all this other stuff, it's just
Mhm.
like I go in there, you my best friend, you know all about me. Here it
Mhm.
is. I'm
Mhm.
about to take a leap. I
Right.
know these things about you.
Mhm.
It's not because when it's been bad, it's been very bad. And once I figured out you don't love me any less, you're still there, all of that
Mhm.
good stuff. Um, it's in the inside
Mhm.
and it's not on the outside. And that's, to me,
Mhm.
that's what made me stronger. realizing the location. That's huge. It made me
Yeah.
stronger, right?
Uh-huh.
Um, and so that's how overall that's how I fell in love.
Mm-hmm.
That's when I really fell in love with that
Mm-hmm.
vibration, that spirit, that's healing. It's everything,
Right.
everything. So I can lose a whole lot of things, but
Mm-hmm.
that connection,
Mm-hmm.
I'd be done. I would be done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
definitely would. Yep.
What'd you say? So who would have known and you would have never had the clue, huh?
Nope. Not this deep. I always had that. I was always different. I was
Mm-hmm.
always tapped in, but again, too shy to
Mm-hmm.
allow other people to see that. And
Mm-hmm.
even now, I've been too shy at certain times, but I've become. It makes you bolder.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It does something to you. It
Yeah.
transforms you because you don't feel like you damn the hell. I'm just gonna be real. I don't feel like everything I do is
It's gonna
wrong.
put
It's
you.
all about an
Mm-hmm.
experience. So
Mm-hmm.
the experience and everything is connected. So I'm just
Mm-hmm.
saying, even the ant, the tree, the wind,
Right.
the sun,
Mm-hmm.
we're all connected. So I just know that now. It's nothing, the separation is what keeps
Mm-hmm.
us not having what they say breakthroughs or manifestations, right? Because you
Mm-hmm.
breaking the chain, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
Who would have known?
Who would have known? All
Who
right,
would
I
have
like
known?
that.
Mm-hmm.
Can you think of something or someone that over a short period of time has influenced or had a significant impact in your life?
I would have to say outside of my mom, there was a woman that it was a very interesting story.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Her name was Mother Outta Here, and I
Mm-hmm.
actually grew up in a prayer band. So,
I didn't know they
um,
had prayer bands, but okay.
yes, and look, we in Fayetteville, we the country, we
Uh-huh.
travel in prayer band too, not just we staying in one house, we move from house to house
Okay, nice.
as she was led to go.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
she was led. So she was very tapped in. And yes, we came from the Bible. Yes, we were hand clapping. We were doing all of that. But the
Uh-huh.
biggest thing to me was I noticed her connection. That's what I
Mm-hmm.
noticed. And when
Mm-hmm.
I first met her, I was a teenager
Okay.
and about to go to college. And it
Mm-hmm.
was something I can't remember that it's a Stephen King's movie, and it's an old lady that's on Stephen King. And she's waiting for as these people are trying to make it to her for like a safe haven, right?
Uh-huh.
Because they got this entity,
Whatever.
whatever is after them, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she reminded me of her like a big mama. And
Mm-hmm.
so when I finally came to her, she already knew me. She said
Uh,
she was waiting on me. So it was
oh
a
wow.
different kind of
Mm-hmm.
mystic thing like that she had, that when she said it, it is what it is. It was
Mm-hmm.
going to happen. It was going to come to
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
pass, so to speak. And I'm like, okay, she got something different going on because I've seen pastors. I've seen,
Right.
and she wasn't in the pulpit. You understand what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
I want to say she may have sang in the choir, but she
Uh-huh.
didn't preach. And
Mm-hmm.
so she was just known for her prayer life, which was and is a very disciplined life. And she sat with
Mm-hmm.
God a lot. And you could
Mm-hmm.
see it, you could feel it on her. Mostly you could feel it on her. And
Okay.
sometimes we wouldn't say a word, just
Mm-hmm.
vibrating
Mm-hmm.
back and forth, and we wouldn't have to say a word. And that's all it
Nice.
was. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And so, how was that at that age? So prior to going to college and
Mhm.
whatever college experience was like, you know, um,
Right.
but having that kind of like foundation with someone like that, how was that for you?
It opened me up. Mind
Mm-hmm.
blowing. Mind
Mm-hmm.
blowing. Because of course, I'm trying to figure out what is that?
Mm-hmm.
What do you have? What
Uh-huh.
is that?
Uh-huh.
That when you say it's gonna happen,
It happened.
it happens. And so I'm like, how does she do that? I'm just saying, I'm young, right? 17, 18, about to go to college. All of this is, and I used to call her in college when I would get tight or my back is against the wall. And just as she says, it would happen. And I just was trying to understand, to me, that's power. That's the mysticism of what we call God. Right.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow. What are some of the qualities that you find important in friendships or relationships?
My biggest one is authenticity. Be yourself. And when I say that about someone, I'm saying it about myself. Mostly because, we get in different environments, even on this platform, right? And we tend to put up our mask, whether we have to act like this or we have to articulate and we have to do all this stuff. And we understand different environments, need different things.
Yeah.
Correct. But the biggest thing to me, especially if you're in my inner circle, is authenticity. I should be able to, if we grow to a certain point, as they say, we should be able to see each other naked.
Right.
There shouldn't be anything, or you shouldn't have to put up any type of airs for me. When you come to me, you should feel like you're in a safe environment.
Right.
And that's the biggest thing to me.
So that goes kind of like just across the line, across the board.
Of course, trust and all those things, loyalty. But I mean, to me, those things are given if you're authentic to your, authentic to yourself.
Yeah. So I have a question. So just from how the conversation has been, do you think, or would you say, that authenticity is promoted in some spiritual church backgrounds? I'm not even,
No.
Because, when you say that, I'm like, just from the conversation and what you were saying, it's like, I don't know if I got the feeling like I could really be myself. Because if I was myself, I'm on Hell Express. I'm Gasoline Draws, Hell Express,
Right.
Fire and Brimstone, whatever else. And not that that was bad, but it was not necessarily what they said I needed to be like.
Right. They say do things in order, right? But why are you mad because I sat in the wrong seat? I mean, it's simple things. And I always used to say, I'm not going to sit up in church and miss God. I'm not going to sit up in church and miss God. So, I understand the rules and being organized and all this stuff. But sometimes that's what a love is supposed to be, right?
Right.
And I have a story to go with that. So it was one Sunday, I remember it like it was yesterday. And this lady came into church. I won't name the church. And it was a whole row of us sitting in the row. And she came in, and I could already tell because that's how I function. She had a lot going on in her environment and within herself. And so when she was coming, you know how you scooting by to sit down to find a seat. Like, it's like she was literally, she'll sit down on your lap, then sit down on your lap, then sit down. And basically, she was real active, I'll say it like that, on this row. By the time I looked down the row, I was on one side, and it was this other lady on the other side. Everybody moved. Everybody moved.
Wow.
Because she was different. And she was, she's singing, she's clapping, she all over the place, got a little club going on in the club, you know what I'm saying? That's what she was different. But it was just like something in me was like, so you're okay. You're safe. she's different. And that's the thing that I think, as I'm sorry, the church is losing numbers, because I was already told it was going to do that too. I'm not saying put anyone's life in danger, but the days of certain hierarchies, it's done. That's over. It really is. Because you have to let, as they say, let your light so shine that other people will see. And so people feel that. And it's so much information out here. And it's not the fact that that's old timey, as probably the young people will call it, but it's just, again, I just think it's about the education of it all, the research of it all, understanding, like, who we really are. All of that good stuff goes along with it. So you don't have to be, but you have to choose to be aware.
Yeah. And I think, that's been a thing that I've noticed most places I've gone. It's the fit was always like, oh, this is interesting, and I could do it for a little bit, and then it's like, oh, okay, yeah. And I think because it was such a must, I definitely rebelled initially. That was a thing, like, I always said, like, once I turned 18, I was like, if I never stepped a foot in nowhere else, I'm good. I done get all, if it was a time thing, like, from revivals to whatever else, the prayer, like, I'm like, I think time wise, I'm straight. It may last me for the rest of my life, So.
Yeah, I get that. I mean, it's the love, man. Like, it have to be authentic,
Yeah.
It just, and if it's not, people, especially these young people, they will sniff you out. I'm just saying, they are different than we were. When I was in church, sit down, be quiet, eat your peppermint. If you're gonna go to sleep, go to sleep.
Yeah. Right.
But you're gonna be in church, right? But now young people, they ask questions. They're trying to find out why. See, we didn't ask why, but they're asking why. And then it's like, well, just because we said so, that's not good enough. Not for this generation right now.
Yeah.
And I think that's where the disconnect is. It's not about moving with the times, or this is new age, because it's actually old age. It's very old. But, certain things have been put in place so long. I just think there's a fear to change.
Yeah, I remember the time that I did ask something, and the pastor told me, don't ask, don't question God. And I was like, well, I'm not questioning God. You're the pastor, so I'm asking you the question, But he was like walking and doing something. So, it was like kind of a brush off thing. And that was a lot of, I think I was always kind of inquisitive, just around certain things, just because I think I've always been intrigued by belief systems and people's whys, and just learning, like you say, different ways to feel the love, or to see, or like, oh wow, I can get this out of that. No, wow, I can get this out of that. But what I learned, I think, the most about myself is I'm a free little birdie. Like, I think
yes
that I get to fly and just kind of experience or whatever, but I don't think that I could just sit, anywhere in this moment for too long. And that's been like, maybe going against the grain ish or not. I'm not sure, but I think there was always this thing about, like, nothing was ever 100% for me. So, but it didn't have to be, because, like, I get to experience within, whatever I'm supposed to experience, just as much as I ever experienced out, so.
I agree. I mean, and that's, to me, being free ain't being loose. I mean, it's just like, how we perceive things. It's either, to me, I always say, when you pray about something, And then, somebody prophesied to you, say in church, but I had to learn this. It should only be confirmation of what you've already been told.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? So it's not like you hearing anything new, but
Right.
we can be lazy. And if you're not disciplined and you won't sit down to listen, guess what? You always have to listen to like the physical form of who's speaking, right? When you can
Right.
get it for yourself.
Right.
You can definitely get it for yourself.
Right. So what would you tell your younger self about how to best prepare for the future?
Pack light, but be prepared. Very, very prepared. Because I never would have imagined, and be strong. I would have to be strong. All those words, endurance, patience, all the stuff. And I'm like, oh, Lord. But that's what I would tell my younger self. You are a lot stronger than you realize. That's what I would have told my younger self. Not knowing the things that would come. I'll say it like this. This is regarding family. I had a certain amount of time with the most intimate parts of my family. And when this year, 2016 hit, it was so many deaths in my family. Sometimes that's when the groundedness come in, right? That's how you figure out what's really going on when you actually, I'll say it like this. I don't care. In this realm, I lost a certain type of foundation. But that's when I learned who we call God was truly God. And by the way, I prayed about that too. What is your name? I asked about that too. And I was told whatever the species needed to be at the time. Yeah, it's not. Yeah, we call it however we need to call it as we pass through, and they'll call it something else, right?
Yeah.
The love, something else. But the strength.
And I like that because I was having that thought too, because I was looking at someone on social media and they were very, clear about what name to use and this, that, and the other. And I was just like, I just immediately, and once again, I can't quote scripture like that and hasn't, did all of the thing. But I remember the stories. I remember the stories of Jesus and the disciples and people being on the other side and they're witnessing or doing the thing, but they wasn't affiliated with them. And he said, let them be. So that was like the same book to tell you to let other people be ends up, like coming. And not that I don't think the person I was looking at the time was Christian, but I was just like, well, why can't it be whatever they needed to be for whatever is gonna make them feel okay, and sometimes it don't have to, it's that deep, but it ain't at the same time.
And that's exactly in my prayer time. That's exactly whatever you need it to be.
Right.
As long as you make the connection.
Right. That's afforded to everybody.
It's afforded to everybody.
Not the select few. Not only the ones.
Everybody.
So what do you think people would be surprised to know about you?
I am, honestly, I'm a natural loner. Very sociable when I want to be, but I'm a nerd. I like to tap in. I have books all over my house. You wouldn't realize when I'm in that space. I love the mystics. I'm trying to figure out how to walk on the water. Understand what I'm saying? Like, I'm all the way there. And a lot of people would not know that about me. I would say
what would you think that they would think? Like just meeting you, do you give off because I know you're not, trying to probably share even what we're talking about on a regular basis.
Right. Mm-mm. Nah,
Um,
because you already feel you kind of you already
uh,
I feel
mhm,
where I can be open and where I can
mhm.
share. And then sometimes it's just like if I don't say nothing, that's because everybody is of a same mindset. And
Mhm.
I'm okay with that. I just don't
Yeah.
say anything because I'm not.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And so, so would you feel that in those places? Because I know that sometimes it's just easier,
Mm-hmm.
because it's not about um, trying to convert or any of that. It's
Mm-mm.
just like understand. Oh, well, that's who you are. Okay, that's cool,
Right.
and not. But I don't know if that's always well received on the other end.
I'm not
Like
trying.
sometimes I think, like you have these different exchanges, and that could be for religion or anything else. When people are
Right.
not when you're not in agreement, I think that's the biggest thing that I've noticed with people sometimes is that, wow, I don't agree, and it'd be okay,
Right. You.
because
Mm,
what?
yeah, I'm just gonna say, I try, balance for me and
Uh huh.
neutrality, right? That's just
Uh
like
huh.
say politics. People wanted me to get into it, right?
Hmm.
It's not my thing. I was already told, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and you're right. If you don't agree, I find it that most kind of spiritual people let you flow,
Hmm.
let you be in your element.
Right.
But if you're not like that, I mean, me just wearing a aunt will tear
Hmm.
something up. I've been in spaces
Hmm.
where they just see that instead of a cross, and it can cause problems.
Hmm.
Yeah. They're rubbing on my back like come on back or something like that. And I'm like, I didn't go anywhere. You understand what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
hopefully we connecting with the same love.
Right.
That's my thing. But I'm okay with how you connect, but
Mhm.
now you might not be okay with how I now choose to connect.
Yeah. And I think like that's that whole only one person could tell you, but then it's the generational thing of what I guess appeared to work for people. I can't even say
Right.
whether it did or didn't all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But that was the whole thing. Like everybody was like, okay, this is a thing and this is what we do and this is how our family is. And, and that's it. There's not anything else. It's just like either this, and this is right, and you can't think and you can't do any of the other stuff. Like not
Mm-hmm.
in opposition to what I'm saying. Or you could think, but it better end up where I'm at.
You got that right. We'll go
Yeah,
to war. All of a sudden, the
yeah,
love go out the door, and now you in a whole argument.
right. And it get
Oh,
hot.
bad.
Yeah.
And it's the truth.
So yeah. And I have to be honest too, because I can notice myself when I hear certain things that
Mm-hmm.
don't feel loving, that I get defensive.
Right.
Like I will say that I have been tested and I have failed severely on certain ones. Uh, and I end up being like everybody else I'm talking about right now.
Right. No, but I think we all do that. I mean,
Yeah.
you gotta test the Teflon a little bit. I mean, just to
Yes.
know that it's there because of course, if you everybody we think our way is right, right?
Yeah. Of
So
course.
that's all it is. I mean,
Mhm.
but I want to learn. That's what I'm trying to learn to
Mhm.
allow people to be where they're at. It's not I shouldn't wake you up or whatever the case may
Yeah.
be before
Yeah.
time, right?
Yeah.
So, but just because you're not aware, and I tell this to people all the time, don't be mad at me because I am.
Right.
So, and I study,
Yeah.
study, show yourself approved. That goes, I don't care. That's
Mhm.
across all religions and spirituality, right?
Mhm.
So it's
Yeah.
all about what
The
you're into.
the thing that I found interesting when I was coming up, though, is that with the study, it was
Mm-hmm.
only study certain things. It was never certain study all things to get an understanding. It was study. like this one book and maybe this other book or whatever, whatever the things were.
Mhm.
It wasn't until I was experiencing like something else that I dove into where they studied different. Like they study. They like had
Mhm.
dictionaries. They had, and it was actually when I studied with someone who was in the nation. And not that I ever joined or any of that, but I did study, a couple of times, and it was like, wow,
Right.
they study very thoroughly.
Mm-hmm.
And they gave me a different perspective about study that um, how can you if you don't know about everything? And I want to say like more African traditions tend to learn about all religions as well, if I'm not mistaken, because you have to be knowledgeable in all of the ways, kind of,
Right. Right.
and what you're learning for yourself, but you also have to be very much knowing all the rest of them like the back of your hand too.
Mm-hmm. And
So,
that's balance to me.
yeah,
That's,
yeah.
but it's just, the walls, you know what I'm saying? Go ahead and the walls, Jericho. You know what I'm saying? You have to go back and forth with it, right?
Uh-huh.
Because I mean, both are needed. You first go on your journey and
Yeah.
you kind of upset because it's a lot of things that have been left out of that book, right?
Yeah.
Um, so you upset, and then I was like, I'm changing. Like,
Mhm.
oh God, something's happening to me. But
Mhm.
who else are you gonna blame but the one within?
Right.
So it was
Because
time
it's
for me to go to another level.
yeah, and
Mhm.
and it's like once again, not I don't want anyone to ever get the impression that this is a bash or anything like that.
No,
Everything
absolutely not.
works for whoever, and
Yeah,
if to me, I always say like if I could tell that you really into whatever, because it shows,
it's
amen.
genuine. That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Mhm.
because it's like you have people in every different religion that you feel the presence of God with.
Absolutely. You'll
You
feel
know?
it. That's when I want
Yeah.
all the hugs and you know what I'm saying? That prayer comes
Uh-huh.
across strong. You know
Right.
it's gonna tear some stuff up, right?
Right. Uh-huh.
That's what I'm after. That's exactly what I'm after. You want to feel it genuine. Now don't say it and then you don't fuss me out in the parking lot. Don't do that. You know what I'm saying? So
Like
nah,
it's
but
only
that's
good
my
for an hour and
foundation.
5 minutes.
Right. But that's what I'm saying. That's where I came from. Like that's my foundation. But I just finally chose because I
Mhm.
had something always tugging on me. And I
Mhm.
just, you finally choose to continue to grow,
Yeah.
to continue to expand.
Yeah. And I think that process is usually very uncomfortable.
There, I cried. I was mad. Just very bipolar. You know what I'm saying? Just being honest. But
Yeah.
then at the end of all of that, circle you
Light.
right back
Hmm.
to that place every
Nice.
time.
Yes.
Mhm.
So what would you say inspires you or motivates you or what have you?
What motivates me?
Hmm.
Whew. Um, it's
Inspiration.
always the inspiration. I mean, just never give up. I don't
Hmm.
think you can get it wrong. You're gonna make mistakes.
Yeah.
But if you stop,
Hmm.
that's the problem. You just
If you.
keep as if you stop, like
Mhm.
like the old people used to say, just keep on walking.
Right. You
You
eventually gonna get somewhere.
you gonna get there. If you gonna
Yeah.
crawl, crawl. If you
Yeah.
gonna walk slow, walk slow. Just don't
Hmm.
stop.
Right.
And that's what keeps me motivated. Just to
Hmm.
keep growing. Because I like relating to all kinds of people. I love it
Hmm.
when, I'm at
Hmm.
Harris Teeter and
Hmm.
this no, it doesn't matter the race or the gender or whatever. They just feel me vibrating to the point where, ma'am, do you mind helping me
Hmm.
find some Betty Crocker brownie mix? And they just go into this whole spiel like it was other people on the aisle,
Right.
but you
Yeah.
asked me.
Yeah.
So I'm giving off something that's making
People feel
whoever
more at ease. Yeah.
right. That's, to me, that's what it's supposed to be all about. And then
Mhm.
when you feel that other kind of energy coming up, you put your shield up and they back off too, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Don't even.
yeah, don't, yeah. Mm-mm. Not with, yeah.
It's like don't start no stuff.
Mm, mm, mm. But I love that because I like talking to
Yeah.
people. And I'm just like, and
Mhm.
sometimes I don't even be in the mood. I'm just sitting there. I'm doing what I'm doing and just out the blue.
Mhm.
It's always, can you help me? Can you
Mhm.
help me? So I'm
Mhm.
like, okay, God. Even if I'm in a mood, I'll be like, okay. And then I pop back.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
just never giving up.
Mhm.
That's it.
And it kind of goes to that whole idea of just like constantly be a servant, whatever that is.
Mhm.
Whatever being a servant of God. Like because it shows up in so many different ways.
Yes.
And a
Yes.
lot of people, I think, make it want to be one way or another. But like to be a servant is all of the stuff. It's
Yes.
cleaning. It's finding the cake mix. It's doing.
Exactly.
It's like giving directions that hopefully whatever, or
Mhm.
it's all of the things, even if it's just like a listening ear or what have you, because it is something that when you are in spaces that people do just naturally, kind of,
Good to you.
that'll come up and talk to you, or you have people that see you for a while, they get used to seeing you, or just
Mhm.
whatever, and that you speak. And I know there are some times where you know um you may not always, like you said, be up to it, but then there's like, how cool is it that people do feel comfortable enough, especially in this day and age, to say anything sometimes,
Right.
because
Y-
it has been on one.
Yes, it has. Yes, it
So
has.
that is a testament as well.
Hmm. I agree. I agree.
Yes, yes. Um, is there anything that you feel that people tend to misunderstand about you?
Um, at times, yes, because I
Hmm.
can be, and I don't know if this is I hate to say that. Here I go, bringing in the sign of the Scorpio.
Uh-huh.
We intense, right? We fixed, water, emotional, but
Uh-huh.
very intense. And sometimes well, a lot of the times, especially when I'm trying to get my point across, I'm very direct. I don't mix my
Hmm.
words. And
Hmm.
I've also been working on that. Because if I love you, and even if I don't love you, I want to be able to receive the truth from you, knowing
Hmm.
there's no malice, no shade behind it. But I also
Hmm.
want to be able to give you the truth, straight
Hmm.
up, no chaser. So
Hmm.
if you come to me about something, I'm gonna take it there.
Hmm.
I
Let's say be
will.
ready.
So be ready. And
Uh-huh.
sometimes it can be, at times it used to be abrasive, right? Because
Hmm.
I mean, I don't sugarcoat it. It's not that I said anything wrong. You may
Right.
not have liked how I said it.
Hmm.
So I feel at times, sometimes,
Hmm.
especially more in the past, that
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
people would misunderstand me there. But it's always out of love. If I love you, I'm not, I don't do all that calling you out your name or nothing like that. I will
Yeah.
cut you with words. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's all out of love
Yeah.
every time. Yeah.
And I think, some people have gotten accustomed to, and I think going back to your inauthenticity,
Hmm.
that we're taught to be, what's considered to be nice, are good girls or whatever, which does not always align with being, what I'm going to say, assertive or clear. Because,
Right.
like you said, it's not always that what you said was mean spirited or mean at all. It was
Hmm.
just like, wow, from my observation, I see this. And it
Hmm.
isn't no sugar, it's just what you see. But
Right.
we're kind of taught that, if it doesn't come out nice, then people are responding to the how, even though the how wasn't even bad.
Right.
Let's say the how wasn't even really
Right.
bad, but they're
Right.
responding because you didn't make it sugary. But sometimes there's not a way to make certain things sugary.
Hmm. And I
You
agree.
know.
My bestie always says, she'll say, take your voice up high and blah, 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 because then they can better receive it than you
Uh-huh.
just, you coming at them. And I'm just like, okay, and I try to practice that,
Uh-huh.
but
How's it
that's
been
not me,
working?
because it's not me.
Yeah.
But I do choose my words better.
Mm-hmm.
I do
Yeah.
choose my words better. So I will say that. But I
Mm-hmm.
always say it's out of love. And I will go back because I can tell when it hit different.
Right. Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
you give people time to process it. You know how we do. We get funny acting, right? She hurt my
Mm-hmm.
feelings. I ain't gonna say nothing. So I ain't gonna call you for a couple of days, a week. And then certain people, you kind of used to talking to y'all in
Yeah,
flow.
yeah, yeah.
And
Mm-hmm.
you like, I did something. So now you going through my Rolodex. And I'm like, ooh,
Mm-hmm.
was that conversation we had? Because you know,
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
know I said what I said. I still mean it, but
Mm-hmm.
I'll go back and
Check
revisit.
in. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I
Yeah.
will.
And so, and then I think there's also the thing too of being okay when people do. I think that there's
Mm-hmm.
we've gotten to this space, and I hear all of these different things that sound to me damn near crazy. Because people are like, oh well, I don't want to trauma dump, and I don't want to do this, and I don't want to do that, and I don't want to
Right.
do whatever. And I get it to a certain extent, but I'm like, so what happened to friendships, and what happened to being able to be there, and also being able to be, because what any good girlfriend is gonna tell you is if that so and so ain't hitting on nothing, they
Right.
gonna let you know. And it's not out of callous or we don't want you to win. It's like, I don't know, you might want to, take that one slow, you know.
Right. Yep.
And we may not dog, but it may not be what people want to hear if they happy about
Right.
whatever the thing is. You know what I'm saying? But it doesn't make it any less true either. So when is that line, that we kind of, I don't know, don't want to cross or don't want to do this because of whatever, but when does it get to where you're not authentic with your friends, because oh my gosh, if I say this, then they're gonna be mad. But it's like I still love you and I
Mm-hmm.
care about you, which is why I'm saying what I'm saying. Because it's not usually unless you got and I think everybody has had an experience with some hating friends every now and again,
Right. Right. And you don't want to
so
be called that now because
yeah.
that can be the
Hmm.
perception that you
Yeah.
are because they
Yeah.
happy, or maybe you're single and they're not, or they're married
Hmm.
and you're
Hmm.
not. And
Right.
so that whole myth of, you know, be around married friends all the
Hmm.
time or whatever, you don't really need to hang out that much with single friends, all this
Oh,
stuff
yeah.
that's going on,
Hmm.
out here. And then, you don't want to be labeled as that. But a lot of the times it's the ones that's the person, if you can trust their authenticity,
Right.
you'll know they're telling you the truth. And then you'll
Hmm.
check yourself. Because I mean, a lot of the times if you hit that place and
Yeah.
they pop off mad, you
Yeah.
already know
You
you're telling the truth. You
truth.
know you're telling the truth. So
And
why
just
you
mad
so
at it.
mad? You
Right.
defending, you doing all this stuff, you hyping. I'm like, oh, we about to fight. What's wrong? Why
You
you,
know I love you. We done known
you
each
see
other
what I'm
since we was
saying?
we had to Juba. Yeah.
Calm down. So,
Yeah.
and that's the same with me. I always
Hmm.
say, you can say what you need to say about me. Just don't lie.
Hmm.
I'm cool with that.
Hmm.
Just don't lie on me.
Yeah.
Because that's not authentic, right? And
Right.
I'm doing my
And then
best
it's
over here.
and it's a thing too, because whenever that happens, I don't know about you, but like I had someone who did, somewhere in
Mhm.
our relationship, and then they end up telling me like way later in our relationship that
Right.
they lied, and I was like, ooh,
Mhm.
and it wasn't even like to me a good reason. You know what I'm saying? And I was, and not that there's ever a good reason, but it was
Reason.
just like, dang, I got to rethink everything you done said. That's
Exactly.
a whole lot of work. This has been a long time, and I'm just like, because if you did it over that, now I just can't really trust you at all. For some of the things, it's just
Mhm.
like I don't even know how to come back from. I know that you can,
Right.
and that you can come back through and make it work with all the different stuff. But for that one too, it's just like, yeah,
Yeah.
that's probably not gonna be anything that I'm gonna keep, you know,
Right.
keep
Right.
around, you know. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So so what would you say that you're the most proud and grateful for?
Mm, what would I say? Um, Honestly, how much I've grown. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
just through all the stuff I've been through, and the
Mm-hmm.
fact that I still laugh, I
Uh,
still smile. It's
mm-hmm.
for me, it's the stuff that money can't buy. It honest to God, truly,
Mm-hmm.
genuinely, it because I knew times when I couldn't laugh or I wasn't
Mm-hmm.
happy or and then
Mm-hmm.
learning how to deal with stuff different.
Right.
Don't get stuck in it or
Mm-hmm.
figure out how to climb out of it. You know what I'm saying? When you got the glow, you need the glow. You got the glow, you need the glow. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? You know what I'm saying? You know, work yourself back to that happy place, whatever it
Yeah.
takes, right? And
Yeah.
that's what I'm most proud of. I
Mm-hmm.
just, that's that snapback. You know what I'm saying? I
Mm-hmm.
just once I figured out all the stuff that when you figure out of all the stuff that you go through in life, whatever your journey is, and
Right.
at the end of the day, you know that God loves you
Mm-hmm.
like God loves you. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not talking about mom. I'm not talking about husband. I'm not talking about best friend. When you got that staple,
Right.
it changes everything.
Mm-hmm.
Changes everything.
Are you just, I could do that, but I don't
Mm-hmm.
have to.
Nope. I'm just
Wow.
saying. I'm just
Yeah.
saying. You
So
know what I'm
that
saying?
is some good, like that's some good stuff.
Hmm. It's freeing, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Let them talk, whatever, you know, for real.
Yeah.
Because I like when your back is against the wall with certain things. Who
Uh-huh.
the God in you is gonna pull
Mm-hmm.
you out if you allow
Mm-hmm.
that, right?
Right.
And so
Mm-hmm.
that's I just if I can laugh, I can. I was crying, but then tomorrow I'm laughing. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
that's not you just pop out of it a lot quicker than you used
Mm-hmm.
to.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the stuff people say, the things people perceive about you,
Mm-hmm.
knowingly or unknowingly,
Unknowingly.
won't shake
Yeah.
your ground like it used to because your
Mm-hmm.
foundation is so strong.
Mm-hmm.
Um, if you have to walk alone, you know how.
Right.
Just all of that. And then then all the money and stuff can come because then you can handle all the extra, right? But if you
Right.
can't handle yourself just at the bare
Mm-hmm.
minimum, you
Mm-hmm.
already in trouble.
Right.
Because that's just gonna make it worse, right? You're gonna attract all kinds of stuff when that kind of stuff comes. But at that bare minimum, hell, you ain't got nothing, no way, right?
Yeah.
No way. So go ahead and get it right there.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the
That's some
beautifulness
good
about
stuff.
it. Hmm.
Yay. So, what would you say, or how, what do you do to assist you with like overcoming challenges or, when things do come up? Because there are the moments,
Right,
that do come up.
they do.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the times when I'm going through something, and I notice here lately, I just kind of, as they would say in the Bible, you steal away.
Mm-hmm.
So that means I'm at home. That
Mm-hmm.
means I might just watch Netflix,
Mm-hmm.
or when I'm pulled, when it's like, God, like you need to come close. I see your heart.
Mm-hmm.
I sit down and I
Mm-hmm.
listen. I don't
Yeah.
say a word. I just sit
Mm-hmm.
and listen. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you, I'm not trying to be overly spiritual or overly nothing. That's like really truly how I live my life. For
Mm-hmm.
real.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's to overcome. That's exactly what I do. Or because it's not always I need to sit still.
Mm-hmm.
You might tell
So,
me to listen to some music.
mm-hmm.
And it be some music, like, and I'm like, why you got me listening to this? And then I'm in, like we was just saying, I'm
Yeah.
in here, just getting it, just whatever
Mm-hmm.
comes at the time. And I always say my jukebox will come on
Uh-huh.
and a song will hit me.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a gospel song, sometimes it's not. Or I could just go to the mailbox and I tell this part, and the wind hits my face in a certain way. And I just feel like God is just like, I got you. He just pressing me. You know what I'm saying? Just giving
Yeah.
me the love that maybe I prayed for, or he saw the kind of day that I had, whatever.
Right.
I let it all. However, I don't try to control how I receive it. You know, I used to have a hard time receiving the goodness, right?
Oh,
So
still.
I just kind of let it come how it's gonna come. And that's how I get over and keep on walking.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Nice, nice, nice. So we are kind of coming up to the close.
Okay.
Yeah. Can you believe it's almost been an hour?
No, because we just been having a collaborative conversation.
Yes.
Very
It has
good.
almost been
Yes.
an hour. And so what I would like for you to do, because it's like at the end I was like, any things that you would like to promote or words of encouragement or anything like that you would like to have. I see the sign behind you, so I am of course going
Yes.
to talk about the sign. So can you know, because the sign is who you are, and I want
Yes.
you to explain to the people who will join when they join and see this. What is a unique me? Because that is your brand, basically.
Yes.
Yes.
It
Uh huh.
is.
And so tell the people who you are.
Exactly what that sign says. Don't want to be caged. Got my right here, got my inner Buddha going on.
Uh-huh. I
Um,
love.
I'm all of that. Spiritual mixed with Christianity, mixed with a little fashionista.
Uh-huh.
Got a little hood. You need a little hood.
Every just a
And I'm
little bit
just,
all the time.
you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And I'm mixing it all together with my good prayer life. And I love to laugh.
Mm-hmm.
Just be lighthearted. That's
Mm-hmm.
to me, that's what it's all about. A unique me. Don't let anybody cage you, tell you how you should act. You know how you
Mm-hmm.
should act in a
Mm-hmm.
certain environment, but be yourself.
Right.
That's what I work on every day, being a unique me. And if you don't like it, I don't attract you. And
Mm-hmm.
when I grow out of you, guess what? I repel you too. And then
Uh-huh.
I meet somebody
Ooh.
new.
Yeah.
And that's just really what it is. You see how I said that, right? Somebody be
Yeah.
like, oh, you see what I'm saying? Because they'll say, she talk shit. You know what I'm saying? But I do, but it's from a genuine place. And that's just
But
really how
is
I
it
feel.
really though, or is it just an observation of what works for you? Like
Mhm.
and once again, is it the language that, because it's not a soft language, but it is a true language?
Right.
Because I'm like, oh shit, but it's the oh shit where you like, yeah, that makes damn sense. Yep, that's right.
That's what I'm
So,
saying.
and I think, I know that we are sensitive in certain things, but I think that
Mhm.
sometimes when we are able to hear what people are saying, because I do say that we hear with the ears of our life experience. And
Yes.
so sometimes people are taking things way different than what you're saying. And
Right.
some of them haven't gotten tapped in enough with self to feel free enough to say what you say,
That's true.
which I think is kind of the bigger thing. I don't think that that it's so bad or whatever, but it's like, dang, how'd she get that free?
Right. A
To
lot of
just
work.
be able to be, to be, yeah, that part.
You see that right there?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is, because I still look at my journey and the moments that I have where it's like, dang, girl, I thought you was, oh, no, okay, repeat lesson. All right,
And it'll come right back up. It will.
and it does. And it's like, oh, so sometimes I have a habit of kind of being nonchalant about things that I need to probably not be as nonchalant about.
Right.
Because me, I'm like, yeah, if it ain't really bothering me, or whatever. But then it's like, oh, but with that, does that allow you to not embrace boundaries that probably need to be had? you
Right.
know so just the whole song and dance of life. It's like you get a chance to every now and again hit a wrong note. You get a chance to sometimes, unfortunately, step on somebody's feet, then they step on
Okay.
yours.
Hmm.
But I think the beauty of it all is that when you're able, like you said, to be still, or when you're able to gloat, gloat,
You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm
you know,
saying. Don't be afraid to.
yeah,
So what?
yeah, and just kind of being okay with, oh, okay, so I'm not,
Hmm.
perfect, because I think there was a time, I was taught to kind of walk a line that I never was really good at walking. Um, and then it's like, so what does that mean? And I'm still years from my upbringing, yet it feels like it was yesterday in certain areas.
Right.
That even
Yeah.
knowing better, that sometimes there's still this, oh dang, I didn't know that was still there. Oh, oh, okay, where did that come from? That's old and that's not really how I feel. So let me address some of these things.
Absolutely. That's
You
the
know.
journey of life that we in school down here.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we doing. We in school. We pass some tests. Get to take them
Okay.
again.
Okay. So with that, could you um so are you assist Yep, I'm about to. Yep, I
Here
am.
she go. Here she go, y'all. Here she go.
I'm gonna take it back and I'm gonna bring it forward.
Uh-huh.
Because we started with your shamanic counseling, and
Yes.
I know and that you're a Reiki practitioner,
Mhm.
and um, I'm not sure how often you've been able to practice or do or assist people on the journey.
Right.
Is that something that you're offering currently?
No, not currently, but I'm coming back, y'all. I'm coming back. I'm making my way back. It's been a long year of a transition in my current life. I'm coming back
Yeah,
to my former life. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah.
So I'm getting back into practice because it's calling me. It's calling me
Mm-hmm.
back. Yeah.
Okay.
It,
I can't not do the plug whether you ready or not.
I
So.
appreciate, you know what? It's some people that support, and then it's
Mm-hmm.
some people that push. You
Mm-hmm.
support and you push. You push me. And
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate you for that.
Well, thank you. I mean,
Yes.
because you do have a gift, and I know that you're here to be a blessing, as you have already been to other people.
Yes. I
So,
appreciate that.
um, so I just want to, kind of continue to encourage that, because, like, I know who you are, and
Yes.
you badass, So, like, there's that,
I appreciate that. But I'm
you
gonna
know.
have, my YouTube is out there. I got maybe 2 videos. It's me staying consistent. It's me staying in the flow, right?
Okay, and what is your YouTube channel, please?
It's at a unique me
Uh,
underscore. My stage name is Raw Symmetry.
okay,
Um, Circle connecting all things. So that's where
okay.
that comes from. But I have like 2 videos out there. I'm gonna make some more. So this is
Hmm.
inspiring me to stay motivated and to stay consistent. That's my word right now when it comes to videos. It's consistency. So
Yeah.
more
And
to
I
come.
think the thing is, sometimes, like, once you just make the decision and then you don't have
Mhm.
to over anything, like overdo over whatever. I think sometimes we'll come up with plans and it has to be perfect. And I think
Right.
the thing that I've noticed over this year, just with doing this, is like I just stayed kind of committed to the idea of doing it. I took a month off. I planned on taking December off, but I do have one
Mhm.
in December. But I was like, wow, but there's been so many other times that I haven't been.
Right.
So I'm kind of happy with this, because, like, there's so many times that I haven't made it to, like, close to the end of the year and stayed, like, on target. And I think some of that is a part of the journey, because we get to look at when other things start taking off our path.
Right. And that's exactly what happened. That's
Yeah.
exactly what
So
happened to me. Hmm.
yeah, and it will. And it's like, so how can you honor self during those times, or remember to come back to self, because that's life too. That sometimes you will get thrown off, and then the you that comes back has now the wisdom from all the thrown off,
All thrown off. Yep.
and everything else too. So I think that everything is continues to be the blessing,
Right. I
you know.
agree. I
So
agree.
yeah, so I'm excited for what's all coming. And if you all check her out, a unique me underscore Ra Symmetry. So that is also her Instagram, a
Yes.
unique a unique me or the Raw Symmetry or
It's
just
just Raw Symmetry on Instagram.
yeah, Raw and then underscore symmetry, correct?
Symmetry. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So if you want to give a follow, please do that. Please do that.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's some fun stuff. We didn't get off into it. I'm not sure whether you all are still doing the kind of like the man on the street thing and all of the other.
We are. I
Okay.
posted some Jiho. I'm sorry, I'm an Aggie, y'all. I'm sorry. I'm a Aggie pride. I gotta hit that right quick. But
Yes.
that's on 2-6 Talks. So I posted probably like 3 new things like
Okay.
this weekend. So yeah, we're gonna start that back up too. So
Okay. So the number 2, the number 6, and then talks.
talks. Correct.
Okay. So two
Mhm.
six talks, and that's kind of like on the street, having a moment with whomever is there.
Yes.
Like from Charlotte to Fayetteville and anywhere else in between.
That's true. I love to talk to people, y'all. Yes, I
Yes.
do. Y'all heard that, y'all? That's straight Fayetteville right there.
So 2-6 talks, Raw Symmetry, a unique me. Thank you so much, Rashida Davis, for
Thank you.
joining me for another collaborative conversation. I appreciate you. I am grateful. And let's do it. Let's
Yes,
get at it.
ma'am.
Yeah. So
Blessings. You are a blessing to me. Have always been. Yes.
thank you, thank you. And so we're gonna close it off, and I'll be back in 2 weeks. And I forget who my next person is, but please join, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right. Have
Peace.
a good night, everyone.
All right.
All right.